If only a game of football was 13 minutes long. Unfortunately, it's not. However, a 3-2 defeat against Cardiff Met, a spirited performance, lots of positives to take from last weekend's game.
Not just about last week, I don't think, Stuart, if we look at the journey so far and where we've come from, to take Cardiff Met to the 93rd minute and there just be one goal separating the sides at the end, I think is a massive achievement for us. They are, for all intents and purposes, a Champions League side, with real potential of cleaning up the silverware this year, including the league. So everybody knows our story and our journey. So, I've got a huge amount of respect and time for our team, for our girls, for the coaching staff and what they've achieved this season. To come back week on week and to be, tireless in their optimism and enthusiasm to want to show themselves and present themselves in a game of football, I think is massive credit to them. So yeah, walked away at the end on Sunday night, disappointed of course that we didn't quite get over the line, but on reflection, we can have no complaints. Cardiff Met are a really, really good side and we pushed them all the way.
And in spite of the results, and as we often say, the table does indicate where the results have been going this season, nevertheless there is a good team spirit, and that confidence, that team spirit, how important will that be this coming Sunday when the rubber hits the road as far as the league's concerned?
Well, it's difficult to say, in direct response to that question. I think, more broadly, if we look at it, we're 3/4 of the way through the season now, 15 games gone, 5 to play. Pontypridd have won 5 and we've won 2. So there's a clear gap between the two teams in terms of being able to get results. In terms of the coaching staff and what we've done with this group of players, we've tried to bring them together, create a culture, work to our values, and go every game with a game plan to try and express our strengths and try and expose the weaknesses of the opposition. We have limited success week on week doing that, and as I say, with a quarter of the season left now, all of the learning and all of the coming together in terms of building that team spirit that you talk about, in terms of the style of play and the principles of play that we've got, in terms of our identity as a team, we've done as much as we can now. It's down to the players to get themselves over the line and turn all of those good moments, those good 13 minutes in games, those good occasions, those pushing teams to the wire, in our favour to get results. We've got 5 games to get some results, as you say. It starts again this weekend, and let's see how well prepared we are and where we are emotionally to try and get those 3 points.
And obviously they are massive games for the New Saints and for the other teams as well, even though Pontypridd have a little bit of a gap over the teams below them. Nevertheless, they can get sucked in. How important is confidence going to be this coming Sunday?
Yeah, I think confidence every week it plays a massive part in how teams perform, and that's obviously the responsibility of the leaders within the group, the responsibility of the coaching staff to help everybody arrive in the perfect moment. I mean, you talk about massive games, realistically, we look at the world and what's going on in the world. Yeah, we want 3 points and we want a win out of the game, but is it really that important? The answer, of course, is no. So in terms of sort of the confidence side, in terms of the sort of, I don't know, getting yourself up for a game, we'll be up for a game for sure, but we'll not put too much stress and too much emphasis on it, because obviously that creates stress. The minute you start to create stress for players, things can go awry and it all then starts to unpick and crumble apart. So our job is to build the confidence and to build the belief systems, to give the girls a clear game plan with clear lines of communication this weekend of how we intend to approach this game and tackle it. If we're good enough, we'll get some points. Ultimately, if Pontypridd are better than us, then we won't. So we'll just move on to the next one. We'll take each game and each week one at a time at the moment and see how far we can go.
And when we came into the league at the start of the season, it was in many ways a step into the unknown. Now that you've played a number of games, and perhaps more importantly, played each opponent on a number of occasions, does that help you, say, for example, going into the game on Sunday against Pontypridd Town Women, as opposed to when you played them for the first time?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the project, as you called it, this season and stepping into the unknown, it's been a huge eye-opener for everybody, the coaching staff included, the players especially. It's been pretty cool, to be honest, to be a part of it and to see it firsthand and experience it firsthand. And I think if we were to sit down with each player individually and have a conversation, they would have many things that they would take in terms of learning experiences and opportunities from this season. We've grown immeasurably, individually and collectively. As you rightly point out, we've played every side. We've learnt an awful lot about them. We've learnt a lot about ourselves. We've morphed and changed over the season, as I'm sure the other teams have as well. So we know more than we did previously. We've got a good idea of how we need to play and how we want to play this weekend. And as I say, we'll give it our best shot.
And we've mentioned the table. Pontypridd are 10 points ahead of the New Saints. So they could go 13, but on the other hand, win this game, win the game in hand, and the points gap could be just 4 points. There is a lot at stake on Sunday's game.
I'm not too concerned about points, positions, league tables at this moment in time. We know that this is a project. We're in a transformational stage as a team, as a club, with our women's side. So we just have to be circumspect in that. In the knowledge of that and take it small steps at a time. So points at the weekend, not really too concerned about that, more interested in that competitive side. Are we ready? Are we prepared? Do we give ourselves the best opportunity to get the 3 points? So we pushed Cardiff Met to the wire on Sunday. We've got a record this season of pushing teams to the wire. Ultimately, pushing teams to the wire is not going to be enough. We have to learn how to turn that a little bit more in our favour and get those results, and you only do that through processes. So we're looking at the small gains, the marginal gains, as we do every week. Where can we tidy up one or two areas? Where can we improve one or two areas? And if we can keep doing that week on week, we'll see, after the final whistle on game day 20 as to whether we've done enough. If we haven't done enough, then we have to review and see where we could have been better.
And finally, Andy, what is the availability of players likely to be?
There's a couple missing this week for definite. We know that already at the moment as we speak. So there'll be a little bit of shuffling of the pack this week to construct a formation and a game plan to play Pontypridd. And I'm sure that will be the case throughout the rest of the season now. Week on week, we'll have a couple of players missing. So there'll be plenty of opportunity for those players that would arguably say that they've not been given enough chances or had enough minutes. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond and how, myself as the manager or us as a group of coaches can put 11 players together on a pitch to go and, do their job.